One of the Lee County schools that took on some of the most damage from Hurricane Ian reopened its doors today, just different doors. Cafferetta Elementary in Cape Coral had serious damage, so most of the hundreds of students have spent the last 2 months between Pelican Elementary and other schools, but now there's a plan in place as they went into the temporary classrooms in the back parking lot, as well as at Cape Coral Technical College to see the plan for rebuilding of Cafferetta or to learn more about the education for the students there. Hundreds of them. We have that on fox4now.com. While January 6th, House committee members met to recommend charges against former President Donald Trump on this Monday. Numerous Floridians also awaited hearing more about the charges they're facing in connection to the riots at the Capitol nearly 2 years ago. Nearly 10% of all of those facing charges come from Florida, and that includes many of the alleged leaders behind the attack, 2 of whom are from here in Southwest Florida. And we have more details on the roles and they're accused of playing in that day from D.C. Check out our investigation online. And also from Sanibel, a group on the island is offering some bicycles to people who need it. But getting around Sanibel is much more difficult right now because of lack of access. Nearly 3 months since Hurricane Ian, as well as the conditions. But getting people bicycles will allow them to better travel the island. The bigger question is Sanibel truly ready to open up on January the 2nd? If getting around is an issue, will letting people back onto the island make the situation more challenging? Colton Chavez is handling some of those questions with the answers right now. fox4now.com.
And turning to our weather now across Southwest Florida, it's not going to be quite as chilly of a start. Most of us tomorrow morning starting off about 8 to 10 degrees warmer compared to today. Partly cloudy skies forecast. We'll start off your Tuesday close to 60 degrees. Dry for your morning hours, but then in the afternoon, especially heading toward the evening commute, you want to make sure you have that rain gear close. Rain, heavy at times, will be our biggest threat at this point. The threat for strong and severe weather will stay limited, but a widespread 1 to 3 inches of rain could lead to some minor flooding concerns. So we'll be monitoring that very closely, especially tomorrow evening. Those showers taper early on Wednesday morning. So Wednesday looking to be fairly quiet. Then a much stronger system moves in on Friday, and behind that front, we're going to be experiencing some very chilly temperatures right in time for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
On Sanibel Island after Ian, some island locals say getting around on 2 wheels is their only way to travel.
We don't even get in our cars some days.
Lee Karanka, who used to routinely bike before Ian,
We go to the beach, we go to the store, we have our baskets, we fill it up and go home.
says like many, she's grateful today at Billy's Rentals.
So Billy from Billy's Bikes.
And Maria Espinosa's nonprofit Fish of Sanibel Captiva
People have lost everything. Sanibel is such a bikeable island.
have partnered to replace upwards of 600 bikes lost during Ian. Stacy Grinnell says her daughter's trying to ring in the new year on a better note.
Well, my daughter used to ride her bike to school every day, and they're saying January, hopefully, we'll have Sanibel School open. So.
And these roads could get a whole lot busier if the city of Sanibel decides to reopen the causeway around the start of next year.
There's no reason for people to be coming unless you're helping clean up.
These letters to the Sanibel Council before Tuesday's meeting show dozens of people like Karanka do not want the island reopened. City leaders have not responded to my request to talk to them about the potential decision.
I think it'll be a temporary thing to where people get to finally see and then realize that there's still a lot of work to be done.
A decision the community now waits to see if those receiving new bikes today will have more visitors on the roadway come the new year. Reporting from Sanibel Island, Colton Chavez, Fox 4. On Sanibel Island after Ian, some island locals say getting around on 2 wheels is their only way to travel.
We don't even get in our cars some days.
Lee Karanka, who used to routinely bike before Ian,
We go to the beach, we go to the store, we have our baskets, we fill it up and go home.
says like many, she's grateful today at Billy's Rentals.
So Billy from Billy's Bikes.
And Maria Espinosa's nonprofit Fish of Sanibel Captiva
People have lost everything. Sanibel is such a bikeable island.
have partnered to replace upwards of 600 bikes lost during Ian. Stacy Grinnell says her daughter's trying to ring in the new year on a better note.
Well, my daughter used to ride her bike to school every day, and they're saying January, hopefully, we'll have Sanibel School open. So.
And these roads could get a whole lot busier if the city of Sanibel decides to reopen the causeway around the start of next year.
There's no reason for people to be coming unless you're helping clean up
These letters to the Sanibel Council before Tuesday's meeting show dozens of people like Karanka do not want the island reopened. City leaders have not responded to my request to talk to them about the potential decision.
I think it'll be a temporary thing where people get to finally see and then realize that there's still a lot of work to be done.
A decision the community now waits to see if those receiving new bikes today will have more visitors on the roadway come the new year. Reporting from Sanibel Island, Colton Chavez, Fox 4.
The U.S. Supreme Court temporarily blocked Title 42 from expiring, but says it could still lift that and allow it to end December 21st. Title 42 was the pandemic health policy that allowed the U.S. to turn migrants away at the border. The city of El Paso, Texas, declared a state of emergency ahead of the expiration. They're worried about a huge influx of migrants. Some nonprofits on the Mexico side say there are as many as 10,000 people waiting to cross the border. This is video a Texas congressman took inside a migrant processing center in El Paso. Republican Tony Gonzalez says the city is facing a dire situation.
The committee believes that more than sufficient evidence exists for a criminal referral of former President Trump for assisting or aiding and comforting those at the Capitol who engaged in a violent attack on the United States.
In its last meeting, the House January 6th committee referred former President Donald Trump to the Justice Department for charges. It says based on the former president's actions before, during, and after the Capitol riots, he should face 4. Conspiracy to defraud the United States, obstruction of an official proceeding of Congress, conspiracy to make a false statement, and aiding an insurrection. 4 Trump associates were also referred for charges earlier this month, though these referrals are mostly symbolic. The January 6th committee's final report will be released Wednesday. The FBI has a serious warning for parents of boys. It says it's seeing a rise in the number of people targeting boys for financial sextortion. What that means is they start communicating with the boys on social media. They then move the conversation private so they can trick the boys into sending explicit pictures of themselves. The criminals then demand money and threaten to send the photos to friends and family. The FBI says more than a dozen boys have taken their own lives after falling for this. It says if you learn someone's targeted your son, you should report the predator's account through the platform's safety feature, block the account, and then contact the FBI. Actress Amber Heard has settled former husband Johnny Depp's defamation lawsuit against her. He had sued her back in 2018 after she wrote an op-ed in the Washington Post he said cost him movie roles. He initially won all 3 counts against her, and she won a partial judgment against him. She appealed, but now she says she's lost faith in the legal system and doesn't want to go through another court battle.
In the beginning of the pandemic, we saw a spike in kids and teens needing help for eating disorders. Doctors had hoped once everybody went back to school and life got a little more normal that those numbers would go down. But unfortunately, the exact opposite has happened.
I didn't know how to get out of the hole I had dug.
College student Katie Kittredge has spent the last several years on a journey to get well. She developed an eating disorder when she started high school.
It wasn't this intentional, oh, I'm going out right now to try and starve myself or anything like that. It was truly, I feel out of control, and the only place I feel like I can control right now is food.
Her parents helped her get treatment at the Eating Recovery Center, and after 2 inpatient stays, Katie was in recovery. Then the pandemic hit.
So that was a really hard time because I think everything that I had looked up to for 4 years kind of seemed like it crashed upon itself. I really struggle with control and perfectionism, and that really is a catalyst for my eating disorder. And I had to make very conscious decisions about, okay, what am I going to do?
But she wasn't alone. Katie was one of many young people across the country who struggled with an eating disorder during the pandemic. And that trend hasn't lessened. Dr. Elizabeth Wassenaar says more young people are struggling now because many put off treatment during the pandemic, and so their symptoms are more severe than ever.
They're very ill from both their eating disorder and their other mental health concerns, depression, anxiety, OCD, safety concerns, and all of the consequences of it is that if we don't address the mental health concerns of our youth, it's going to impact them for their entire lives.
A recent study by the Journal of the American Medical Association documented a 34% increase in eating disorder diagnoses in young people during the pandemic. That's why the Eating Recovery Center is expanding its support for young people by building virtual programs available worldwide and by opening a new center with more room for in-person care. Its programming options, Dr. Wassenaar says, have never been this available until now.
There's just huge treatment deserts for child and adolescent patients that need eating disorder care. And now we can break that barrier down so we can actually meet people where they are, in their hometown, in their families.
She's hoping it's a path to stopping what she sees as a dangerous trend.
We know that when people become ill in their adolescence with severe mental illness and they don't get adequate treatment, that they have functional impairments, developmental impairments, they're not able to be a part of society.
Dr. Wassenaar expects more young people will need help in this coming year and encourages parents to check on their kids if they suddenly change their eating habits, start working out a lot, or are pulling back from hobbies or relationships. She just wants those struggling to hear, no matter where you are, help is close by.
And that's the most exciting thing about treatment, is that people can have full recovery.
What used to be a huge part of my life, which was my eating disorder, has now become really minuscule, and it's not something that I'm constantly thinking about.
In Denver, I'm Alexa Liacco reporting.
It's being called a groundbreaking win for animals. On December 20th, Washington, D.C. City Council will vote on a bill that would change how pets are considered in divorce proceedings. In most states, judges consider animals property when dividing assets between spouses. Under new law, they would be treated more like children.
Whatever brings us comfort, I think is important. And so obviously our pets do. And so because they're that important, I think they really should be considered more than just a couch.
Alaska was the first state to consider animals' rights in divorces. California and Illinois have similar laws. Family law attorney Brent Cashett says the pandemic put a spotlight on the issue.
It brought this to the forefront quicker because people were getting more pets during that time. The pandemic has also led to a higher divorce rate.
The D.C. bill is on track to pass, and Cashett believes more states will follow suit.
I feel confident that more states, if not all the states, are going to jump on board and say this really is important, because not only are pets important, they're important to us.
Target is a favorite store for so many shoppers, but not when it comes to using some coupons. Carla DeBerge says she's frustrated every time she tries to coupon here.
I've had at least 2 coupons, and they would only take 1.
Kathleen Kester says she won't even try paper coupons anymore.
When I think of coupons like that, I think of other stores other than Target.
So what's changed? I found out that Target recently tightened its coupon policy, explaining on its website that manufacturer coupons must scan at the register, which validates to a master file of valid coupons.
For shoppers with paper coupons, that can mean rejection.
Anything outside of the Target app is going to have to validate against the central database, which is very different than how it's been done in the past.
Joni Deemer is co-founder of the Crazy Coupon Lady blog. She says her team's recent test found only half their paper coupons were accepted by Target cash registers.
About a 50-50 shot of that coupon being accepted automatically by the register.
Target claims the new policy is all about cutting down on fraud and fake coupons. A Target spokesperson told us by doing this, we've seen a 95% reduction of counterfeit coupon acceptance. They add the policy also ensures consistency for our team. But that means if your legitimate paper coupon has not yet been validated, it could be rejected.
I just know when I'm going in, if I've got coupons, I'm going to have to fight to get what the coupon says I should get.
So what can you do? The Crazy Coupon Lady suggests using coupons in Target's app rather than paper coupons, or just save paper coupons for other stores so you don't waste your money. I'm John Matarese.
Some much-needed relief for American drivers. Gas is now averaging $3.14 a gallon, according to AAA. Prices haven't been this low since July of 2021. Analysts say recession fears and lower demand are behind the drop. They say the national average could once again dip below $3 a gallon by Christmas Eve. 21 states are already there. More American workers are worried about losing their jobs. A new LinkedIn survey found roughly 1 in 3 workers say they're concerned their company is planning layoffs. Anxiety is highest among workers in product management, quality assurance, and marketing. Those who work in legal or administrative fields are least worried. That's according to the survey. Fluorescent bulbs used to light homes for decades could soon be a thing of the past. The Biden administration has proposed phasing out fluorescent bulbs in exchange for LED lights. The Department of Energy says LED bulbs often last 3 to 5 times longer than fluorescent bulbs. Federal data shows close to half of all U.S. homes use these bulbs already. Energy leaders hope to have this set in stone by 2025.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Fox 4 certified meteorologist Katie Walls. After the chilliest start since April, we'll see our temperatures rebound just a bit. The warm surge ahead of an approaching cold front clouds will be increasing as we head into your Tuesday morning. First half of Tuesday expected to be on the dry side, but for your second half, Tuesday afternoon into Tuesday evening, especially during the evening hours. There you go. You see all of that wet weather just offshore? That will be affecting us as we head into the evening time frame as well as overnight. These showers, also a couple of thunderstorms, a possibility expected in association with the cold front that will be coming through. So that front clearing southwest Florida as we head into your Wednesday morning. Some lingering cloud cover expected for your Wednesday afternoon. And then we'll see another stronger system come through as we head into your Friday. Behind that system on Friday, look at this temperature drop for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Some of the coolest air we have ever felt for the holiday season.
One day following Christmas, the first candle is lit. And for 6 days after, families ignite red and green candles, culminating with a finale on the 7th day called Karamu. Some Black Americans have lit these flames in celebration of their African heritage for more than 50 years, with each candle representing one of the 7 founding principles of Nguzo Saba. The first one is Umoja, symbolizing unity. Then there's Kujichagulia, meaning self-determination. Next is Ujima, representing collective work and responsibility, followed by Ujama, Nia, Kumba, and Imani. With these 7 Swahili words, Maulana Karenga, the founder of Kwanzaa, gave Black Americans a sense of pride in their African roots and created an alternative celebration to Christmas. Kwanzaa is also spelled with an additional A so that it also has a symbolic 7 letters.
You might have a watch that can tell you how many steps you've taken in a day or maybe what your heart rate is. But I'm going to show you how electronic tattoos placed right on your skin can tell you if you're stressed.
Hey, you guys.
Take a walk with Nanshu Liu
Hello, sashimi and hongbian. Ready?
as she shows us the next frontier in the race to make humans more technologically advanced.
This is a sample.
While this doesn't look like your typical tattoo parlor, it's what one may look like in the future.
We spray liquid bandage and that create a micrometer thick transparent protection.
Nanshu and her colleagues at the University of Texas at Austin have spent the last decade developing state-of-the-art electronic tattoos.
We design the tattoo such that they are as soft, as stretchy as our skin.
So thin and pliable, you can barely see or feel them.
Our body is radiating information and data from every inch of our skin.
You may be thinking to yourself, so what? But the work being done here could have major implications for the way we diagnose and deal with both stress and mental health problems.
For people with mental health issues or depression, their skin conductance are also different from healthy people.
Those e-tattoos are placed strategically on a person's palm.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah.
but this is a broken sample.
They typically stay on the skin for about a day. No other place on the body tells us more about our moods or stress.
Our palm has the highest density of the occurring sweat glands, which are controlled by sympathetic nerves, which are only excited when you have emotional swings. On this side, electrically connected to the button.
With the help of a small watch, Nanshu and her team are able to measure electrodermal activity in real time.
Then this palm signal is conducted through the serpentine to the buttons.
More activity means our bodies are experiencing more stress.
What is going to cause their mood swing or like anxiety?
The eventual hope is that someday these nearly invisible devices could gather data a healthcare provider uses to determine what triggers a psychiatric issue or depression. So the palms are really a goldmine of information.
Yes, but it is also going to perform a lot of daily tasks.
At the end of the day, Nanshu knows there is a fine line for human technology evolution that may scare some folks. Could you see why people might be a little worried about having this much technology on their bodies?
I can. That's why I think we need a buy-in from all the parties with enough protection of privacy and security.
But her hope is that these temporary tattoos can permanently change the way we deal with stress. In Austin, Texas, I'm Chris Conti.